All right, folks, we are in campaign 18. We're in our full regimental campaign. That is the full map, modded so that we're playing down at the regimental level at the smallest level. And yeah, I've elected to not not update the naming conventions of the regiments. We recruited a bunch, but I just want to play. And so I'll do it another time off video. But most students, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, the way that I've done it, because the vanilla game doesn't do it like this, so we actually have the regiments, and I have to go through and individually name them when they're created. So if I don't do that, other things happen. So with the Union, I think I did this with the CSA as well. We're trying to make sure there are no repeats. It's not completely historically accurate, but yeah, we're trying to make it a little bit better. So, and that's the second chord. So, actually, they're all set. I think it's there might be some people over here. I think particularly in some of those divisions that they just had brigades that were so depleted. They needed at least one or two more regiments to potentially be up to fighting. So, overview of the campaign. If you're just joining us or whatever, we are ahead. No, well. We're not ahead. So we've done both as a Union. We started as a Union, CSA, back to Union. We're at 73 right now. I have it modded so that morale and support converge. They are at 75. So 73. Actually, we're probably 2 points behind the last episode, and we're still 2 points behind. Morale of both armies have come up since the last episode, but ours has come up quite a bit. Men fielded. See, ours has risen about 30,000 from last episode, whereas the CSA's has not. And so if there's ever a time to push for Richmond, then we'll go ahead and do it. In the last episode, we had... it was a fun time, but we had two divisions here that were right on this Point Pleasant Ferry, and we beat them. And so now Hovey is leading the charge to get them out of what is West Virginia. West Virginia has been liberated. You're welcome. And Harney will support if he can. I think, honestly, we could probably move that. That is Sherman's Corps. Those are the three divisions right now that are in Sherman's Corps. Reynolds is the one who really needs the readiest. The 7th Corps up here is forming. It's got a division down here at Evansville. It's got one here, and it's got another one over in Connecticut that we have to get over here by rail. So they're nothing. And the other battle was, I think it's this one right here, this little monument that beat back... I forget what his first name is, but it's A. Jackson. It's not that Jackson. It's another Jackson. And opened the gateway to Nashville. However, Forrest Corps, which is at least those two divisions, manifested here and looked like they wanted to come in for a fight. This is such a pain to deal with if we don't have an army back at Louisville or at Harrodsburg or somewhere else where we think we can hold the state. Because if the CSA moves in, they'll flip Kentucky. We'll never get it back. And it's much easier for that to happen than for us to take Nashville, right? So at that point, we could take Nashville, but maybe there's nothing else. The campaign has been modded so that I really don't know how accurate much of this stuff is. It could be accurate. It might not be. I think the plan is to use... So this is a little bit of good news. Though their weapons... are not great, and they're all very new. The divisions of the 7th Corps could provide some maybe emergency defense of either Covington or Louisville. Probably the 3rd Division is going to be the last one there. But then the plan over here in Missouri is to just hold. I guess that's the 4th Corps' inglorious task. And so I don't want to overcommit to that. If the CSA just wants to tramp around out here in the middle of nowhere for a small prize, St. Louis is the prize. When it comes to this for me is the Western theater. This is the central one, and then there's the Eastern one. So, anyways, as that on the high seas, we were bypassing. Now they had a supply issue last time, but it looks like they've resupplied. And the plan for this one is to go to Fort Walker. If we take Fort Walker, we should also get Port Royal, which allows us to stay much closer to resupply. So that's what we're looking to do here at sea. I think we're doing okay in the Chesapeake. And since we kind of beat ourselves up a little bit, I moved off it before I got to the point. But Crittenden's division, man, that is just beat up. It's not just readiness, though. It's beat up in troops. Right? Only 4,000? And you can see that's 3 brigades of 4 regiments. My goodness. Yeah, they just got absolutely decimated in that last battle. And so Crittenden may be out even much longer. Carlin looks like he probably can go. Kearney is ready to go. But I'm not sure what to do. I want to stay on the attack here. I mean, it's almost September 1862, right? And Virginia is going much better, maybe than historical here for the Union. Hazen should be almost done finally. Like, if you've been watching the last few episodes, like it just seems like this he's taken a while to get his readiness back. He is apparently he has unhappy troops. I forget how to do this. It's been unhappy, right? And then there's a way we can actually figure it out. Right. So what are they unhappy with here? With their... You see, medical treatment almost cancels out that unhappiness. 4th Minnesota bat. So it's it's 3 batteries griping about their officers. Like, all right, fine. if that's what we have, like, I don't care. So, all right, that's good. Sheridan is ready to go. You know, Sheridan has probably outperformed. He's definitely outperformed my expectations. I don't know. Maybe I lean on him an appropriate amount. Maybe I don't. But what else do we want? We got a movement one. We got a movement and supply one. We got a readiness one to operate in CSA territory. What else do we want? I like embedded reporters, and I like ambulance corps. I found that I think ambulance corps is kind of broken, but I'll throw it on every once in a while just to see if it works, and it usually never does. But you know, you got to keep testing these things out. Yeah, but I'm liking. I wanted these divisions because this is a fair amount here, right? 75. That's basically 15,000. 22. Well, Turchin is like a reserve division, but that's still 25,000 troops that we could bring to the fight at Richmond. I know on the top line, we are ahead of them. I would bet the wealth of our population is very poor. Our tax revenues decreased by $336 million last month. That's probably not right, because I don't think we ever took in $336 million in 1 month. If you don't believe me, well, you can't say. Yeah, I mean, income tax for 12 months is predicted to be at 205 million. Sales tax is 103 million. So I'm not sure exactly where that came from. I doubt at any point we're looking to take in 800 million a month. But the surplus, it was right, the deficit, the negative surplus or a deficit, it was over 500 million. So this is actually progress, even if it doesn't feel like that. Wealth is low. That is unfortunate, and it does drag down on morale, and I think it's actually lower in the north right now than it is in the south. So think about that for a moment. We had options. I elected to go with Enrollment Act 2 just to get, you know, like in Crittenden's army, get those reinforcements there more quickly. Time will tell whether that was the best one to take at this stage. If you're watching the video, this decision has probably been made more than a week ago, and I've probably played a bunch since. So it's, yeah, you can tell me I was wrong, but I'll already have seen it by then. Civ Order is almost coming around. Early on in the war, 1861, 1862, maybe even 1863. I like Civ Order. I do. After that, maybe recruitment offices, maybe later in the war. But since we're so far ahead, I feel like, you know, prepping the long game, because our support is 5 points lower, is much lower. And we're also going to go for the Banking Act, I think, before 62 is done. And so that's going to be a problem. If we go with confiscation, their support is going to come up. So that's something we got to be cognizant of as well. So I'm pretty much looking. I mean, if Turchin doesn't show, I don't care. But Terrell, I would like. Wallace, I would like. I thought Wallace had experience. I'm not seeing a whole lot of it. I mean, his men, it's regular training by, summer 62, so that's not bad. Meagh's division, yeah, it's similar. Like, I'm pretty sure most of those troops have been tested, and so they might be useful. But if this is really all that's left to defend Richmond, I'm thinking of a bigger push. I'd like Hazen and Sheridan. I don't usually love this push, but I think we've cleared everyone else out. And so if we can seize Stanton, we might also be able to get to this rail juncture here. I doubt we're going to be able to support a push on Richmond, but Sheridan might. So let's go ahead and let's just get Sheridan moving. And since I don't expect Hazen to kind of do anything else, we'll just send... Yeah, I mean, you can use the rail if you want. That's fine. Second Corps HQ, we can start moving down. How ready are you? Meagh's is pretty ready. One reason to hold them back a little bit is to just allow the supply. I mean, we have some supply here in friendly territory anyways, but we got a supply depot there, we got a supply depot there, and that might be it. I will think about whether Hazen ought to put one here. I think I'm going to hold him at Newmarket. What is it? It says Farms, but I think it's Newmarket. Might be where we end up building a supply depot. Right? Steel's ready to go. Meagh's, I think, can go. I want to take a look over here at Bernie's division. So they're doing all right. They're the ones that have to come... Oh, you got to be kidding me. So Ewell's division and Fry's division... I don't know about Terry's division. Two of those were the ones that we beat last episode. Or whatever that is. Point Pleasant, the ferry. Yeah, we definitely want them on the rails. That is terrible. Are you all really going to... Like, how are you able to stop there? All right. But you are. So we won't ask those kind of questions. This is going to require a detour. Gonna move you. Gonna move you. And we gotta move you to try to deal with this. Reynolds... Yeah, we can do it. We can move Reynolds as well. Yeah, river movement would be good. I think the railroads are going to be a little plugged up. Jeez. This is a supply desert for them, but yeah, pushing west from here just seems terrible. But they would probably have the numbers to beat me. They certainly would have the numbers to beat me. So, the other things I'm thinking... We do have a supply depot out here. Well, makes it a little more complicated. Maybe we'll move Joe Hooker back to St. Louis so that if need be, we could probably sail him, float him. Yeah, it's hard to... Yeah, you have to probably come up all the way around and maybe land in Louisville that way. It ain't great, but... Kilby Smith. I wonder if Kilby Smith was one of the people they were unhappy with. Might be. I can't say I understand that move. I also can't understand... Well, no, I can. If CSA captures Missouri, there's a lot of recruits in Missouri. And then once liberated, I can never take it back. It'll always be enemy territory. And so it provides them a little bit of strategic depth. But I think for a side that has been Okay, well, they're getting more troops now. That had been behind. It's a curious diversion of manpower. I guess maybe the counterplay should just be to push, but again, I'd rather hold Missouri than take an obscure part of Arkansas. So that's my thinking. I'm making air quotes in my head, but that is the thought there. All right, we do have to be cognizant of supply. Now we know about this. So, so they're not actually over there. So again, I said that I've modded it so that the intelligence is bad, and unless you actually invest in making it good, which I clearly have not done. Well, this is actually more interesting now. Do I send Reynolds over to help in Kentucky? Here, we can move you back. You got to be closer to those troops in Kentucky. Or do we just let the 7th Corps try to hold it? So that is Bernie's division. We'll see we'll see how they get there, but oh wait, this is, never mind. That's the 3rd Corps. I feel like this has got to be a terrible, terrible supply situation for them. All right, the decision will be made. We're not going to build a supply depot, but we are going to march Sheridan and Hazen over to join this attack on Richmond. Because we got troops out in the field who I think are going to start losing supply. I don't think those level 1 supply depots can hold everyone. Okay, Walker, I'm going to move you up. I got to remember to take a bunch of these out of scouting as well. Because at this point, we want them in battle with everyone else rather than trying to get their readiness a little bit higher. Good enough will be good enough. And if you're as ready as can be, but you can't make it to the battle, it really doesn't help us at all. Same will be true with Wallace when he gets there. All right, Terrell and Turchin, I really hesitate to put you in, but we might have to. All right, let's speed this up. Oh wow, it's September 6th already. I thought it was. Can we get a recruitment report? What do we know here? Whoa, 22,000 men and 47 brigades. So the one thing I cannot edit to change is that it will report them as brigades. It means regiments. Most other places I've gotten the language changed to say regiments. But anyways, that is a recruitment drive. And their morale has come up to 85. And they did recruitment bounties 1. So, yeah. They are trying to right the ship there. Alright, Hovey and Harney. Yeah, Hovey and Harney are... They've outrun their command. I guess we'll let them stay there and... Man, now Reynolds is back and... I don't know, do we send Reynolds to Gauley Bridge and then try to link up that way, or just push everyone together? Usually I think it's the smartest to, just like War of Rights, right? Just everybody push together here and maybe come up this way. Don't try to be too cute about it and just attack that way. Alright, so Hazen's fighting the Mud, which is an actual thing in the Civil War. Yeah, anybody who has any delusions of like, oh, I would have liked to fight in the Civil War, I hope you don't know what you're talking about, because if you do, you are... It's beyond the usual gluttony for punishment. It's, by all accounts, it's just a miserable assignment. Alright. Start creeping in some of these ships. I think we're still a ways off. Yeah, we are. We are still a ways off from getting more of those ships. And the fleets that are down here are pretty much useless. They're useless, I think, against attacking a lot. I shouldn't say useless. You know, that reminds me. Get over here. We could still use the ships and the firepower, even if we can't. We're not going to blockade as well, and you know, I'm sure we would blockade just fine. But we can add some ships, and I hate doing it the cheesy way of just ordering them in the switch units thing. I don't like that. All right, so we'll send this around. We'll let the Gulf. It'll stay open for now in the name of trying to capture forts, because the AI, when they gave all of these fleets their perks, none of them got amphibious attack, or attacks, whatever it is. And so we can't take any of the forts that are here. The pickings are not as good here as they are on the eastern seaboard. But still, if we could close down more of this. The other points here, if you don't know, I think Fort Clinch gives us Fernandina. I think that's the one. Yeah, well, I'll go with I think. So we'll do that, and yeah, we'll do that. That's still going on. Speed things up a bit. All right, Hooker's division. I'm going to transfer to Evansville for now. River movement should get him there. We'll move 7th Corps HQ down there. And Newton, we will just see how this goes. I don't know how it's going to go. That's just a lot of troops. The AI absolutely loves the hardest to supply areas, like West Virginia, right? Eastern Kentucky, Eastern Tennessee, Western North Carolina, Virginia, just these places that are actually bad and difficult to supply a lot of armies they love. They spend a lot of time there. Campaign after campaign, no matter what side I'm playing, that seems to be the case. So I don't know why I told you that, but I did. Alrighty. Alright, so Wallace is here. Terrell, it looks like he's ready to go. We'll move him up. Wallace, you can come out of scouting. Guess we'll give you embedded reporters. I don't know if it matters, but ambulance corps. Whoops. I have no idea what that sounded like on your end, but if it sounded like a falling microphone, you have very good ears. Very good ears. Alright, let's just move. We've spent enough time. The way you're supposed to do this, I think, is by moving the furthest away units first, and then everyone else, but don't let that stop you. Alright. Okay, you get in there. Turchin, I don't know what you can contribute, but try to contribute something. That's fine. Yeah, I'm cool with all that. Man, the weather is really slowing us down. Okay, so my guess is they're falling back because they're outnumbered. Yeah, that's fine as a destination. That's fine. Okay, move you back. That's fine. Hazen's division. So, we should have everyone there before they do. But, well, we should have a lot of them there before they do. So, I'm choosing deploy to defend because I think over time we're going to get even more troops. Yeah. You don't want to do fair fights. I mean, you can, but you're taking a risk, and it's not really my style. So, I think we're looking for surer things. I wonder if we look at this now, if those units would still be part of that auto resolve. Let's take a look. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, unless it really... Is it just the HQ? It is. Yeah, it's just the HQ unit. That's odd. Come on, Meeg. Alright, we're gonna keep moving this way. Looks like some of them have already taken up positions on the backside of Richmond, which is exactly what I'd be hoping for. Oh, and now they're ferrying themselves across. Okay. Maybe 5x is the speed we need for some progress here. All right, Jackson scores infantry, but I think it's just the HQ. All right, so Bernie is there. Okay, Hooker's division is there. I'm gonna put Hooker at Louisville. Yeah, we'll send the 4th Corps back here. Honestly, yeah. It seems like it's worth it. I guess we'll find out if it really is. All right. Get Reynolds back here. I want to go in with all of them. Not sure what these guys are doing. Yeah, we want to be in offensive stance here. Oh yeah. My only caution to what we're seeing is that I don't believe it. I don't believe it's actually going to play out. I think they're going to run before that happens. I mean, what was it? 55,000 against fewer than 20,000. I think we actually have a lot of artillery. It's like 130 guns. 60,000 men under Grant. Bearing down on Richmond here. I don't know where all their troops went. They had a bunch more. Yeah, 3-1. I don't see it. But these are the fights we got to take. I'm thinking... Well, we'll see how this goes, but I'm thinking maybe as we go to the end of this campaign season that we rotate back to the CSA. Otherwise, the campaign ends too quickly, and that's not fun either. It's certainly going to be a challenge when we go back to the CSA, though it's taken most of the year to begin to make this progress. And again, our progress is not remarkable. We still haven't actually got into Tennessee and established a lasting presence, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. And with that distraction in West Virginia pulling that Sherman's whole corps out, we could really use that corps in Kentucky. Just checking that advance through central Kentucky, and I'd feel a lot better about the attack on Tennessee at least until the 7th Corps gets trained, gets together, and they actually have terrible weapons because I ran out of weapons. So we don't have that many good ones. Ah, yes. And we were blessed with the worst map, or tied for the worst map. No, it isn't. What am I talking about? This isn't Chancellor. Well, it's not the full-on wilderness, right? So this one's not as bad. And this, yeah, so I can't see them actually fighting this one out. We will find out for sure. So that's all right. So that's Grant himself. We don't want him. Though if I could go down in this OOB and find out who the heck is here. King. All right, so he's part of Taunton. All right. Put you guys on a road at least. Hopefully. Steele's division. Okay, we'll put you kind of by a road too. Alexander's Corps. Grant, what? You're not going to come over here? Okay. Defenses, no thank you. Guess we'll come up to here. And what do we got for cavalry in Steele's division? No, that's not enough. I don't think it's even enough to capture the point. So it's gonna yeah, it'll be that. It's fine. We will move. I actually don't know who I'm moving there. All right, I think we're moving. Grant, get down here. So you're moving there. Ton's moving there. So we're gonna have. We already have that. We're gonna have that. We're gonna have that. We're gonna take that. Don't care about Shady Grove. What a fun way to start. Now, I guess we are gonna get Shady Grove Church if we don't crash, because we seem to have slowed down considerably. Okay, we didn't crash yet. Taunton's division we can put right there. Guessing the gist of all of this is lots of people have arrived. Yes, yes. Very good. All right, so we got those two divisions there. Who? Yeah, they are part of Grant. All right, so Grant, then come over here. Is Keyes part of? Yeah, Keyes is too. Oh, so is Gibbon, Steele, Keyes. All right. So this is Gibbon, Keyes. All right, go find Steele. Steele, right? So Steele is going to go over there. Not right now. We don't need that right now. I think everybody else here is under Alexander. Nope, that was not correct. Yeah, we can try to hold a little bit back, maybe. Since we are isolated for a moment. Meigs. Yeah, you can go over there. So who are you? Wood. Oh, Wood is just... It's on his own here. That's okay. But in that case, we are going to put you on your own. We're going to put Steel back here. And methinks this is good enough. I mean, where are they? Down here? Over here? Thing is that the terrain is, it appears to be somewhat ideal to defend. Right, we just sit in the tree lines overlooking open ground. Good enough. Move you over here so that you can support. Who is this? Wallace? Wallace, if we have to. Wood in your independent division. I guess you go up and try to seize that point. Steel is gonna kind of support you, but also stay with Grant. He's gonna stay there. Grant, to get a little bit more of a central location, is gonna go there. All right, good. We almost got Shady Grove Church. Great, great. That's you. All right. Got that one. Okay, and then this is Terrell's division. Who... Thinking of sitting back here as a kind of reserve. Or we send them through the woods over there if we're not sure where we need people. No, we can move them up for now. Speed it up. I think the order we will give to everyone is to just defend. It's not my favorite order, but Taunton, defend, Wood, defend. All right, that's fine. Get this out of here. I have no idea how we're at minor defeat with these numbers. Oh, I didn't even move Meigs. Oh, whoops. Whoops. I was thinking, like, we need to put out some skirmishers. Is that me? All right. I think maybe Alexander ordered Meigs forward. That's fine. Maybe we move Steele's division up here just so they're all kind of on the road if they need to move. They have a nice long front that mostly overlooks an open field. It's somewhat open. All right, and we get action. I gotta pause you. All right, we had to do that to turn the in-game volume down so you don't go too deaf. And we'll see what my commanders have come up with here. Cannot say I understand this at all. First Ohio Cavalry are in trouble. Maybe the commander, maybe Wallace knew about it. I don't know. All right. Not sure if it's time to switch it over to the attack or not. But I think Wallace is he's about to be in trouble if he doesn't get reconfigured here. But we just gotta, it's really hard to not micromanage this. It's like, oh, this just looks ugly, but we'll do the best we can. It looks like the AI has done themselves no favors by spreading out the attack. So if this is part of a division and this is one or two others, you know, there's always the chance that on a map like this you could maybe do a bit better. I think we're switching Grant over to the attack, and the only reason is that that's a lot of troops that aren't going to be doing anything. I think with Alexander's 6th Corps, that's not the case. I do want to see how Wallace does if we switch him to screen. Can't say I understand that artillery placement, but whatever. Okay, you're all over there. Guys have been hanging out for a while here. The 26th Pennsylvania, 1st Ohio Cavalry. Wow, they have taken on a lot more than I would take on. So for whatever reason, it's happened for several campaigns now. We don't have the option to withdraw, or basically, I don't know exactly what it's called, but to fall back. It's all grayed out, and I'd rather just shoot facing them, and heck, I'll really try to waste them out of their ammo by going prone in the forest, but yeah, I can't say I understand that one either. I understand not wanting to get flanked. I just don't know. I don't know if they're going that, if they're even trying to get around us that far. All right, now we got a little bit of fighting here. Martindale, I think you were depleted before, and it has not gotten any better. You don't need Judson Kilpatrick. You got me. But that cav is also sitting... Like, I can't watch the AI just sit there and just... That's fine. If you want to run away... Oh, they're not running away. They're actually getting into skirmish. That's fine, but... It seems so silly. Alright, so the 1st Ohio looks like they're pulling themselves back. Ooh. Things are very rough over here. Wallace is in trouble. He absolutely is in trouble. Not sure why that order didn't kind of come down from above, but it did not. And where are you going? Yeah, I understand that, Meeks, but... Alright, Grant has his troops moving. That's fine. Burns Cav is holding for now, but they could really use some support here. Alright, what we are going to do, I don't know who this is. Totten's division. We're going to switch you to the attack. And then we need you to do that. Oh, and that Ohio Cav, yeah, they took casualty. They could rally. I don't know what that would look like, but 26 Pennsylvania's falling back. Yeah, there's a huge gap here in Wallace's division. He's got 2 brigades over here, the artillery kind of in the center, and Hurlbut's group over here. Alright, now we got ourselves something like a line battle, though they're not quite. I think we need to mess around a little bit more in the configuration files and just have them build out their front lines a bit more. I had to do it. There was no other way. So anyways, this is where we're slugging it out, I guess. If the numbers were more even, this might work for them. Wow, our casualties are high. I don't know if some of that was overnight desertions, but Yeah, if the numbers were like 50-50, all right, but they're outnumbered, what, 3-1? Huh. Very interesting. Yeah, this whole brigades in this division look like they're just about to rout. You can tell that that was a terrible, terrible event for us. Alright. This is where the fighting is, so that's where we'll go. You can see the CSA has definitely thinned out our lines for us. Yeah, holy moly. Down. Oh, there he goes. But we also got the 8th Arkansas out of here. They have some regiments that have seen the elephant now. Yeah. That looks like it's just going to be a meat grinder. Forest, and a killing field in the middle. But we're here for the cinematic. If only I would be quiet. For now, I guess we can try to hold until reinforcements arrive. It looks like they're here. Where are these guys going? Yeah, they're going in. All right. I do wonder what's going on this left, though. They just... Well, now they get to come across if they want. And if they don't, I don't know what they're going to do. Bayard? Is Bayard Cav? Yup. My goodness, that was a terrible idea. Shoaf. Wow, the 1st Connecticut. 3 stars. And a 3-star commander. Elisha Marshall. I don't know anything about. He fights with Seagull. Schimmelfinnig. Don't go there, Schimmelfinnig. What are you doing, man? Everybody get that medium range going. You two guys. Shoof. Oh, it's a battery? Is it over here? Yeah, it must be over here. It's a shame that those ranges just do not stick with the lower levels there. Well, Green, I told you could fall back. I think you were one of the few that was left with that on. Huh. 24th Pennsylvania is going to go for the 10th Georgia. They got the 6th New Jersey as support. I think the 10th Georgia has a lot more support. You just don't see it yet. Again, if there's a silver lining, it slows down this attack, but I don't know if that's the most. Maybe that is more pressing. I don't know. CSA is a pretty good spot here in the center. We just gotta. Okay, Wallace. Maybe we'll roll you over to the attack. All right. Now we'll see if the Blue Tide and the occasionally misdressed other tide gets rolling here. It's not an assault if it's done at long range. Alright, medium range, it's better. Unfortunately, that's not good for them, but I was going to say, it's also not good that a brigade or more is held up by a cav regiment. Get in there you go. I'm not sure what some of you are doing standing back here, but yeah, this is a terrible move. I really don't think I ordered that, but apparently we're just attacking all along the front. We still have troops back here that are, I don't think they know which way is up. Well, this is just going to go terribly. Oh yeah. I would fall back too. Again, unless the point was to actually just distract them while I guess this big right hook comes in, but I'm not sure I can give him that much credit. Alright, Wallace knows I want him to attack. We'll see if he complies. Not sure why this is not kind of making its way down to all the brigade commanders. I feel like maybe that's probably. But he's on assault, isn't he? We know what Grant wants to do. Alright, so the Union has pushed the CSA back into this field. We're now taking the tree line. Got scouts up here. Alright. That's a promising push. We really need this right hook to land. There. I would accept that. That's fine. If that's what you want to do, fine. Yeah, I don't particularly care how that happens. I just want it to happen. 9th Tennessee, yeah, they're shot out of here, but 13th Massachusetts might not be too far behind them. This may be the most brilliant diversion ever. And now they're going to kick out skirmisher. Wait, oh. Oh no. 31st New York is just going to go run off. That's not good. I thought the 24th Pennsylvania dropped skirmishers and continued to fall back. I was like, that's pretty good. Another wounded. Averill. Ooh boy. Wallace, see if you can order them in to close range here. But his division is beat up. We got a good push here. Scribner, I don't know what he is doing, man. Get in close with him. Alright. That's looking better. I guess the relative casualty difference is starting to even out. I think the prize of all of this is eventually Richmond, though, including its supply depot. And while we might have to leave a couple divisions behind if we press on, due to low readiness and other things, they might not have their divisions be able to stand and fight at all. Their morale might be so shaken from this. 26, that's a terrible idea. Alright, we are slowly... This is not a big right hook, this is like a slow motion right hook. Alright. And we might be over pursuing. You can see the CSA, the concave is starting to form up, but to try to collapse that concave, we have all them down there. Pennsylvania, New Yorkers, Ohioans, more New Yorkers. And they're with some experience, it looked like, in most of those cases, so what we like to see. No more messing around. Make it close range. You guys, find a fight, man. Shank is wounded. Excuse me. partial. Yeah, oh, that was that first Connecticut. Takes. They look like they still don't have orders. I don't know what I do with Meegs. Alright. Maybe not ideal over here on the left, but we'll just see if it's good enough. I'm guessing the objectives probably helped us a fair amount. Yeah, we got 9 points off of the objectives. Honestly, their routes and losses have hit them harder than us. Again, probably because it's relative. But their routes are really high. Never mind the losses, so. To me, like, screen is long range. Attack, defend is maybe medium range. Maybe defend's like a little bit longer. And then assault is eventually close range. Yeah, this left is battered, but I don't know if they want to send anybody else out with all these regiments coming up. That's a heck of a battery, too. Never mind, we're not going to give that order. Alabox Brigade. Alright. Pretty cool, and these regiments are finally, well, almost closing in. Looks like the CSA is going to break contact and get away with it. Lightburn, I don't know who that is. Somebody over here, I guess? I guess maybe this is the way the CSA is trying to force their way out. Man, it got really bright on this screen. That green looks almost washed out from up here. The ultimate sign of disrespect. They're gonna march backwards, but towards you. They're going to lose in style. Alright. I'm not sure I need to watch this. Looks like maybe we'll hasten their retreat for them. Slack over here. Man, Slack has gotten away with it, right? Oh, they routed Hobson. It looks like we got got a much better trade there, but... George is going to try to force it. First Florida. But another good reminder of how important it is to try to keep your troops together. Even when you think you are together, you're probably not as together as you should be. And then if you get two together, you'll end up blocking your friendly's line of sight. So that's always fun. It's nice how with lossless scaling, this flag actually looks like it should. It never does that in the vanilla. So it looks like casualties are almost even. We'll get the reports when we get back on in, and we might have a little bit of time for campaign play and finding out the aftermath of that battle, but I think this episode is nearing its end. All right, what did we learn here? Enemy 800 killed. So for them, what? 1,700 out of the war. For us, it's about the same number killed. 900 missing and wounded, so some of those will come back. Maybe slightly better for us. But when you got the overall numbers advantage, that should be fun. I really want to find out. That was almost the exact same dates as the actual Antietam. You can see that we're just a little bit further away. So that took Wallace all the way down to the red. Not great. Alright, so that's Sheridan and Hazen over there. Interesting. Well, those armies will have to disengage, and then we'll have to do something else. Yeah, we're still waiting on Reynolds. $65. Oh, that's only 18. We should have the troops with what's here to just press. So let's go ahead and try. Worst comes to worst, I guess we have Reynolds as a backup. Excuse me here. Okay, Reynolds is going to try to do his thing. Over here. Hooker, I'm pretty sure I'd ordered you to Louisville, but you know what? Now we can probably just hold you where you are. All right. Though it took the month, Crittenden is back up to the green readiness. I'm not sure what to do. If you can't tell, Civ Order, I know that's what to do. Propaganda again when it's ready. Improved credit rating. Yeah, it's so. Jeez, that is a ways away. Farm mech. Yes, it's just the beginning. Yeah, that'll be an interesting decision when this Enrollment Act 2 is done, and it will be done very shortly. So I guess we got to start prepping. Do we go government funding 3? Confiscation, because we got so many troops in there. But I really don't want to give the CSA the support bonus any sooner than I have to. So that one only takes a month to do. Ag 2 only takes a month as well. I'm thinking breadbasket, then wait and see. Maybe confiscation. Maybe government funding. This one is good for the credit rating, for the amount of money, but it just hits your support real hard. And, you know, you could take the support hits, but try to ration them out, because Oh, that led to the capture of Richmond. Interesting. And we have the supply depot. Huh. Can I get Wallace? So, who is that? That's us. Yeah. Let's go. Jeez, there are so many good ones. Let's go breadbasket 2. And just go from there. All right, so we have Richmond. That's fine. There's no reason to keep Wallace down here. You'll get your readiness back faster. If you're in home territory. So, yeah, they'll lose it now, but in the long term he'll get it back, and it should decrease the pressure on the supply depots that are here. Because right now we're operating from that Manassas Junction. No way. No way. So somehow, some way. Okay, so, that doesn't matter. So, alright, so it's 6,000 of us. For about 6 hours against almost the same number. We're going to wait 39 hours for Reynolds. So, I would just deploy to defend. Take Reynolds out of scouting. Move him in here at the double. And I don't think I want to do that battle in this episode. I'm sure it'll be good. I'm actually not sure of that. It's going to be that West Virginia map, and it's going to be a slog. And I just did a battle that turned out to be a slog. So I don't really want to have to do it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to call it an episode. I'll load this battle in, and that's where the next episode will play out. A surprisingly large battle. I think maybe these armies just couldn't stay here too long, and so somebody had to be king of the hill, and we'll see what happens after that. We also got to move these armies around too. We may do a different kind of Peninsula campaign, or we may hop off of the Union side and back onto the CSA side. So I'm not terribly sure about that. So yeah, their national morale just crashed because of the loss of Richmond. If they regain it, I think they get some back. But maybe let that be their choice. You can see that in terms of numbers, though, men fielded, they are certainly closing the gap here. But yeah, maybe it is time to switch back to the other side. I don't know. But that probably wouldn't be the next episode unless we actually just switch to the next episode and take over as the CSA trying to defend the Appalachian. So we have some options. That's always nice. And yeah, this was a fun one. So look forward to having you back for the next one.